There was a time no Nigerian knew Jesus. No churches, no pastors, no hallelujah. Only the gods of the land, the spirits of the ancestors, and a world where the unseen was more real than the seen. Before the Bible came, Nigeria already believed. Nigeria was not empty of God, it was full of gods. Among the Yoruba, there was Orisha worship. A structured system of divine intermediaries. Among the Igbo, Chi, a personal god, guided destiny. Among the Edo, the spiritual and royal were inseparable. Religion was not a Sunday activity, it was a life itself. Birth, marriage, famine, war, everything had spiritual meaning. There were priests, there were shrines, there were sacrifices, and most importantly, there was fear. Fear of angering the gods, fear of curses, fear of spiritual consequences. This was the Nigeria Christianity would meet. When Christianity first came, it did not come as revival. It came as interruption. Portuguese missionaries arrived as early as the 15th century, but the real shift began in the 19th century. With them came the Bible, Christian education, and the message that challenged everything Nigerians believed. There is only one God. To follow Christ in those days was to betray your culture. Families rejected their own children. Communities saw converts as traitors. Some were beaten, some were disowned, some were completely isolated. Christianity was not popular, it was costly. Then came a man who would change everything, Samuel Ajayi Crowther, a former slave turned bishop. He did something revolutionary. He translated the Bible into Yoruba. For the first time, God spoke the language of the people, and everything changed. Christianity was no longer foreign, it became understandable. Then came 1930, a year that would shake Nigeria forever. In a small town called Ilesha, something began. At the center of it was a man, Joseph Ayo Babalola. No fame, no education, just obedience. A dead child was brought back to life, and suddenly everything exploded. People came from everywhere. The blind saw, the lame walked, the sick was healed. Hospitals were empty. People abandoned medicine for faith. This was not church as usual, it was revival. The greatest Nigeria had never seen. But something deeper was happening. Nigerians were no longer just accepting Christianity, they were reshaping it. Churches like Cherubim and Seraphim Church, Celestial Church of Christ emerged. They wore white garments, they prayed with authority, they embraced visions, prophecy, and spiritual warfare. Christianity became African. The white garment became a symbol, purity, power, presence. Then came a man, not Nigerian, but sent to Nigeria, Sidney Granville Elton, known as Pa Elton. He arrived in 1937, not just to preach, but to raise a generation. He worked closely with revival leaders, mentored movements, and shaped what Pentecostal Nigeria would become. His daughter would later recount his life of sacrifice. She herself became Nigerian in identity and mission.
Missionary personally in the Apostolic Church. And then the prophet called him to come to Elisha. And that was in 1937. Joseph Babalola was in Elisha. The revival was still going on. So he came to Elisha and to Okioye. And there he was. There he started the work. The revival was going on and there were many miracles and all that, but little Bible teaching. So he took on the Bible teaching as the important part of his work. And he continued in that.
From his obedience came a lineage. From that revival fire rose giants, men who would shape modern Christianity. Enoch Adeboye, David Oyedepo, W.F. Kumuyi. Many of them, directly or indirectly, were influenced by that revival culture. From small prayer groups to global ministries, from Nigeria to the world. Today, churches are everywhere. Mega buildings, global broadcasts, millions of followers. Nigeria is now one of the most Christian nations on earth. But something has changed. The question is no longer, do we believe? But do we still burn like they did? Before churches were everywhere, There was sacrifice. There was hunger. There was power. Christianity in Nigeria was not built on comfort. It was built on surrender. And maybe, just maybe, the future of the church depends on whether we remember where it began.